Uh, Hi everyone, and welcome to TWF Rampage or Run In or Overtake. I am Joey Styles here with Trini Kwan and with Aiden English. And today on Rampage, we're gonna see we're gonna see the world. We're gonna see the women's world. We're gonna see the world women's heavyweight fighter Charlotte Flair here, the Ollie's offshoot, not the Big Lots offshoot. When I mean that, where they were sold at, Joey Styles said. Oh, we know what you mean, Trini Kwan said, because this offshoot of Charlotte Flair was sold at Ollie's, and the first offshoot we got was sold at Big Lots back in the day. That's right, Aiden English said. It don't care where you bought the doll. It don't care where it came from. All she cares about being the queen, being the Kaiserin, and being the greatest she can be. So, let's be real earnest about this one. You know, Ronda Rousey might think that she's in my head, but that's not true. And I'm not going to take anything away from Ronda Rousey and say, oh, she ain't good at fighting, because she is. She did become the first UFC women's heavyweight fighter. Yeah, she did do good as a wrestler. She did become the former WWE Raw women's heavyweight fighter. But there was one woman out of everyone she ever fought during her time in WWE, either when she was on Raw and when she went to SmackDown. And that was me. Let's talk about what happened the first time we fought. The first time we fought was back in 28 between Wyatt, when I took the stead of, you know, Becky Lynch. And we're not going to go into, but I beat the hell out of Ronda Rousey that night. Let's go to a year later. Well, we're going to go to a year later, WrestleMania 35, where it was once again Becky Lynch, but who cares about her? Ronda Rousey and me. And yes, it may have been true that Becky Lynch may have beat all two of us, but I don't give a shit. But I'm the one that beat the shit out of Ronda Rousey that night too. So at the end of the day, Ronda Rousey don't got nothing on me. She never has. She never was a six-time WWE Raw Women's Heavyweight Fighter or a six-time WWE SmackDown Women's Heavyweight Fighter. She wasn't a two-time WWE NXT Heavyweight Fighter, and she wasn't a one-time WWE Women's Team Fighter either. Not a one-time WWE Divas Heavyweight Fighter, or she wasn't a one-time FCW Divas Heavyweight Fighter either. She didn't win at King Rick Loudness. She never really did that much. And yeah, winning gold at the World Games might be all cool and all, but that doesn't really mean shit to me. And all the shit you did in UFC might be all cool and all, but I mean not shit to me. So why don't you come out here and tell me I'm wrong? Yeah. First off, I'm going to tell you how wrong you are, Charlotte Flair. First off, I tend to have a lot of onlook for those I wrestle and those I fight. But when it comes to you, you don't have my onlook. I mean, let's talk about all the shit you've done. Yeah, you started wrestling way back what? I'm going to say, what was that, 2008 YL? When you went to WWE? And you already had that, oh, I'm greater than everyone else because I was born into the Flair kin. You know? Oh, my father was a big name, and he won all these winnings in AWA and NWA and MACW and WCW and WWF and WWE and TNAW and JCW and all that shit. Oh well, my half brother David Flair didn't do much, but my brother Reed Flair is doing a lot of stuff. But whatever, you fought. And since Megan wasn't going into the wrestling world unlike your half brother and your brother David did, and your half brother David and your brother Reed did, and your father did. You somehow got into your head you were greater than everyone else. You know, and did it have to do with you being born into the Flair kin, or was it you just thinking you're greater than everyone else? You like to call yourself the Time, but that's bullshit, you know, because you cannot make me yield. But in true life, I did make you yield in WWE. But you like to bullshit and say since it wasn't a match, it wasn't a fight, you don't see it as a true thing. But you didn't make me yield. So, why don't, if you think you're so more greater than me, why don't you put your World Women's Heavyweight winnings on the line? And we don't have to yield until WrestlePalooza. We don't have to yield until WrestleMania, 38 to get it done. Oh, I'll wrestle you today, but I'm not putting the World Women's Heavyweight winnings on the line, because I don't think you're worth that. Well, we'll have to see, Joey Styles says. If Charlotte Flair, if Ronda Rousey, the former UFC Women's Heavyweight fighter, former WWE Raw Women's Heavyweight fighter, former fighter now wrestler, can beat Charlotte Flair in a non-winnings fight. Well, Trini Kwan said if anyone can, it's Ronda Rousey. I mean, she can do it. Oh, body slam on Charlotte Flair, Joey Styles said. If anyone can, Ronda Rousey can, Trini Kwan said. I have a lot of belief in Ronda Rousey over these long years. Well, Aiden English says, I mean, Ronda Rousey's done a lot of things, but being Charlotte Flair ain't one of those things she's ever done, Aiden English says. Yeah, she may have been a UFC Women's Heavyweight fighter, a WWE Raw Women's Heavyweight fighter, a King Rick Loudness winner and all, but she never beat Charlotte Flair. She may have won gold in the World Games at one time, too. Here she comes. And Charlotte Flair just put a boot down in Ronda Rousey's lair, Joey Styles says. And Charlotte Flair thinks that Ronda Rousey's nothing more than a one stunt, one lark horse that can only do one thing. And at natural selection, those are 2 holds. And now she's going to do the figure 8. Whoa! Ronda Rousey got her in the ankle lock. And Charlotte Flair just yielded. Here is your winner, Ronda Rousey. Well, Ronda Rousey has won her match here today on Rampage by beating Charlotte Flair in a non-winnings fight. And Charlotte Flair doesn't like to lose any kind of match if it's got the winnings or not, Joey Styles said. No, she does not, Trini Kwan said. She sees herself as the greatest women wrestler who have ever lived. And she doesn't like it when she loses. Trini Kwan says. And I'll tell you one thing, Aiden English says. It was a non-winnings match. So we all know that Charlotte Flair is not going to give Ronda Rousey any thanks for anything she has done in the skilled fighting business and the skilled wrestling business at all, Aiden English says. Well, Jonathan Coachman now is going to be talking with Charlotte Flair. All right, Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey just beat you here today on Rampage, run in or overtake. And yes, it was a non-winnings match, but it still is a loss for you. Let me tell you something, Jonathan Coachman. I don't take losses lying down. My father never did. My half brother David never did, and my brother Reed never did when he was alive. And I'll tell you something right now. See, in the fighting world, the UFC world, Ronda Rousey would win. Yeah, she would win. But in the wrestling world and the WWE world, I would win. See, I didn't put the winnings on the line because that winning, anyone can get lucky. The Ronda Rousey can get lucky, just like she got lucky. But her luck will not run out because the next time we fight, when World Women Heavyweight Winnings is on stake, I will beat Ronda Rousey. I will beat the former UFC Women's Heavyweight Fighter, the former WWE Raw Women's Heavyweight Fighter, the former Women's King Rick Loudness winner, and I'll send her back home. And then she can work on making whatever the fuck she does. I don't care. So you think it was luck that she beat you? You think it was luck that helped her become the UFC Women's Heavyweight Fighter, the WWE Raw Women's Heavyweight Fighter, winning the Women's Fighting King Rick? Yeah, I truly believe it was just luck that helped her win all those things. And I'm telling you something, her luck will run out, and I will make her do one thing she never did in UFC, and she never did in WWE up until now, in the TWF, and that is yield to the Queen. Woo! Alright, that was my talk with Charlotte Flair. Back to you, Joey Styles. Well, thank you, Jonathan Coachman, for talking with Charlotte Flair here on Rampage, or Overtake, or Run-In. That's all the time we've got here for Rampage, or Run-In, or Overtake. I am Joey Styles for Trini Kwan and for Trini Kwan and Aiden English. We hope you like Rampage or Run-In or Overtake, and we'll see you tomorrow for Power or Might.